just come in and help out,
That's right.
How's everyone doing? It's great to be here. Thank you for taking a moment to stop by. And we just finished up a great little round table around the oblong square table.
That's correct.
It was good to just listen to citizens and get their views and input on the state of the healthcare debate in the country right now. And it was exciting to hear from business owners and doctors and average folk who are, I think, legitimately concerned about where we are and what we're doing and the direction the president is taking the country. And it gave us a chance to kind of hear. We're doing these sort of gatherings around the country to be able to just sit down and listen to people. And it's not town hall-ish in that sense, but it is a little bit more intimate. And what I then do is just take that information directly back to our members in the House and the Senate, so that they know, in Arkansas is a representative sample of some of the things that people are saying and some of the concerns that they have, and we want to be able to address that in legislation and amendments and anything else that we may do. So it's good to be here and to spend a little bit of time with you guys, and I guess we'll throw it open for some questions. Oh, this is a big group. I don't know.
Absolutely.
A lot of questions.
Can you tell us about the meeting? Who was in there and how they were chosen, that sort of thing?
They were, we formulated a group of individuals we just had invited from different disciplines around the state, where they were small business owners, healthcare, doctors, citizens at large. Our conference room was not that large, to meet with the chairman to express their concerns, their needs, their desires for how healthcare should change or not change in Arkansas. It was a very productive session. We had about an hour of time. Beginning this Saturday, we will start our town hall meetings in Benton at 1 o'clock, and then we will have 4 around the state. Those will be open to the public, non-ticketed events, so that any member of the public can come and express their concern and raise any questions.
What were some concerns discussed in this meeting in particular? Can you talk some specifics?
Sure. I think one, there were a number of them. One was there was general consensus around they want to see the members of Congress in particular get something done. They're very concerned about what they see as what one gentleman ended the meeting with saying, he's just tired of the propaganda. He's tired of hearing the soundbite side of this discussion or debate, and that members of Congress who are being charged now to take responsibility in crafting this legislation need to really start paying more attention and worry less about re-election. Certainly there was also, I had a feeling you were going to ask that question, so I actually refer to some of the things that were put on the table. Certainly one of the aspects of this was you can't forget the human point of view, that there are actually human beings behind the policy that you're trying to craft. And these human beings have real concerns, and those points of views oftentimes get lost. That right now in our community, in this community here at UAMS and other places, they're using technology, they're using different sources to help provide healthcare and to bring healthcare, and these are models that can be looked at. There was, I thought, a sense of not wanting to reinvent the wheel in some respects. Also, there was folks are looking for a concrete message. What is it we're trying to get to? What is the goal here? Whether it's coming from the president and the House and Senate leadership on the Democratic side, or whether it's coming from the Republican Party, as represented on the Hill by McConnell and Boehner, and certainly myself at the national political level. They want to know what are you putting people first? Are you genuinely trying to put people first, or are the special interests still really kind of behind here? And they cited the insurance industry and a few others that they have some concerns about.
There was a concern too that was raised that if there is a public option, that many businesses will dump their insureds over into the public option, and that's scaring people, that they're concerned that they will not have the coverages in a year that they have today, and some people are seeking medical coverage, even going to some procedures that they might need in the future for fear that they may not be able to get those procedures.
And the other side of this thing, you get back to the boys and girls on the political playground who are actually having to deal with crafting legislation. I raised the point that it's one of this is an opportunity for people to really not just talk about bipartisanship, but to do it. But it is tough to be bipartisan when your team isn't allowed on the playing field. When you have some 100, 200, 300 amendments to House Bill HR, 3200, that are rejected. I mean, let's be serious. You mean to tell me that out of, let's make a lowball it, 100 pieces of legislation or amendments from Republicans on that committee, that not one of them is worthy of inclusion in the House bill? So how do you talk to me about bipartisanship when the House leadership has particularly set aside any opportunity for Republicans to contribute to this debate? And so that I think was a legitimate concern as well. And when you're looking at the leadership, and certainly, I mean, I was very, very delighted to hear Congressman Ross today say that this is not an insurance problem. He maybe should have a conversation with the president, because the president's now telling us it is. He's not worried about insuring 47 million Americans or whatever the number is. But the reality of it is, but for his vote, it wouldn't have gotten out of committee. And so you can't have it both ways in this debate. You cannot be a proponent of reform, real reform that's going to reflect a doctor-patient relationship that's bottom up, and then sit on a committee and vote out to the floor for consideration a bill that upends that entire system. So
he could have stopped, he could have kept Pandora's box closed, but instead chose to open Pandora's box.
Yeah, and so that's a concern for a lot of people. And what I liked about the chairman's gathering here was it was a cross-section of folks. It was a reflection of the community, Democrats, the Republicans, black, white, men, women, professionals, non-professionals. So I thought it was a very healthy discussion from, certainly from my standpoint, in terms of hearing real people share their stories that, I'll be very happy to take back to Washington and share with Congressman Ross or anyone else who wants to listen.
So there were Democrats and Republicans in the meeting. How many folks were in at the round?
There were about 30.
And why wasn't it open to the public?
Our space doesn't require it.
Oh, come on. We're in this room. We could have crammed into that room too, surely.
Well,
Is that really the reason?
It is. It is.
Why not move to a bigger space?
We had our space here at the headquarters, and this is where we chose to have it.
Right. But after criticizing the other side for being closed, why not go the extra mile to be inclusive?
We will have those open sessions
Yeah,
beginning Saturday.
Yeah, let me just be very clear here. I'm not going to let you beat up on my chairman like this, because I requested this meeting, on my visit, to sit down and hear people. I know the chairman is planning 4 town halls in the 4 congressional districts in this state. So you're going to get your public access that's going to focus on Arkansas. Absolutely. But I wanted to come in and listen to people without a lot of fanfare and noise, and I just want a small representative sampling of the community to talk to me and tell me what their experiences are. Because I agree with you. I'm not in the game of shouting down the president and the House and Senate leadership and not putting something on the table myself, because that's not what people want us to do. But I can't necessarily get there when I've got a lot of other stuff going. So I say, look, this nice small group, I'll come in, we sit down, we'll talk. I'll learn, I'll listen, I'll share some ideas, we'll get some feedback, knowing that he's going to be doing this where he's going to have more than 30 people, I'm sure, showing up. and hopefully all of you will be there to cover it. Where the citizens will be able to come, one and all, and hear. But this was more at my request than anything he did.
And your request that no press would be allowed.
That's right.